Hi there again. Can't believe that we're actually on part 8 of the ZF5HP24 rebuild. This is very much the last stages of assembly. I'm just putting the magnets into the bottom of the sump pan. You can see there it's spotlessly clean, ready to go. Just take that round to the gearbox, which is just here. You can see the gasket for the sump pan is just there, ready to go on. I'm just going to flip that onto the edge of the gearbox or transmission housing. It's quite an exciting stage really, because we're not far from completion. This really is the icing on the cake, you could say, on this project. And to be honest with you, I'll be pleased that it's finished. You can see there it's all spotless, ready to go on. Just going to lift that over, plonk that on, and then there's about 500 bolts that hold it on. Or should I say, I'm exaggerating a bit. There's probably about 20 bolts that actually hold it on there. You'll see that I've got a little tray there full of bolts that I'm now putting in the holes, ready for tightening. Obviously with the oil pan you have to be extremely careful when you tighten it down that you don't over stress the edge of the pan, because it's a pressed steel one, and it's quite easily distorted if you over tighten it. So it's very important to follow the torque settings that the manufacturers actually provide for it. I have heard that you know, by over tightening it, it's very difficult to get it right again. So I'm going to stick exactly to the book. I can't remember the exact torque setting. I think it's around about 10 foot-pounds, 10 Newton-pounds, should I say, the metric equivalent. There's a fantastic view of the finished product now. You can see that it's all painted and gleaming. It's a silver paint that we've spray painted it with, and there's about 4 or 5 coats of clear on top to really protect it. You can just see the plastic plug that connects to the valve gear inside. I showed you that in the earlier video clip. Underneath you can see our nice new oil pan, completely repainted. Managed to get rid of all the rust on there. We put some sort of rust proofing primer on, and then on top of that I painted it with some gold paint, which is not far off what the original colour was. That was sort of like a electroplate finish, and then again 4 or 5 coats of clear to seal that in. You know, altogether it looks absolutely stunning at the moment. I mean, it's gearboxes are not the sort of thing that you would normally comment or compliment about, you know, but looking at it, it's fantastic. You can see there I've wrapped it in strips of carpet in order to get it to the car. The car's, you know, about 100 feet away, and so got to transport it to the garage where I'm doing the work. There's a bit of free advertising there for my company. You'll see in a minute underneath there the gearbox is in position, ready for lifting. Not that I'm going to lift it, of course. It's much too heavy to lift the gearbox. In fact, it's one of the heaviest gearboxes I've ever come across. In fact, what I use is 2 trolley jacks, hydraulic trolley jacks that place one under one end and the other one under the other end, and then slowly hoist it into position once it's near enough there, I've got some small threaded bolts that I just use for lining it up, and they sort of guide it in the last few millimeters. And then you've got these small holes around the engine connecting plate, and that allows you access to do up the torque converter bolts. So that's very important. That is a nice view of the V8 engine, looking down in the engine bay. Just towards the rear there, you can see the massive pipes that we've had to fight with over the last few episodes, and you can see through there, you can just see the gleaming gearbox waiting to go in. There it is. It looks like an oven ready chicken, all thrust up in bits of carpet. The carpet really is just to protect it on the way in. Once I get it roughly in position, I'll cut those off. There we are. It's actually in now, bolted in. Everything's there except for the exhaust pipes aren't actually connected yet. But I'm going to be on that fairly soon. In this episode, you'll see the finished product with the gearbox and excuse me, the exhaust pipes as well. But doesn't that look a work of art? I mean, obviously it's not going to mean much to most people, but anybody that works on cars would see that as a masterpiece. If you can understand that. But it certainly has taken a lot of work to get it to this stage. This is the car. We're just having a quick overview. We've actually got the exhaust pipes connected now. I'm just going down underneath to show you the position of it. There we are. If you're just looking up there, you can see the shiny oil pan, and the two exhaust pipes run down either side. It's amazing really, because the amount of heat that you probably get from those exhaust pipes are going to bake that paint on pretty hard, you know. But you can see that there. It's quite jam-packed, you know. There's not a lot of room to work at all. And looking up here, all the pipes are now in the right place. Just looking over the top of the engine there, you can just see down there through the massive pipes the huge butterfly on the inlet manifold. That's the throttle position sensor there, or throttle body as they called it. Probably about a 4-inch size, that opening. You know, it's a huge